Gamers, what's good? So look, man, I know a 2-game win streak is not too impressive, but I gotta say, NATURIA RUNICK is really insane right now. If I can just show you my match history. Yeah, we had the 2-win streak, because I did take a L here, but I was really hoping to put this in the title. I went on a 9-game win streak. Really wanted that 10th win to put a nice big 10-0 win streak in the title of the video, but I was not able to get it. That being said, this is still an over 90% win rate on this deck. I do genuinely think NATURIA RUNICK right now is still in the top 3 decks in the game. It's one of the best decks in the game, and we have not revisited NATURIA RUNICK in a while, so I thought it'd be a good time actually to revisit the deck and kind of showcase it again. It did change just a smidge, just a tiny little bit. I am now running the NATURIA Stink Bug. The main reason I'm doing this is because oftentimes people want to go beat over your Sunflower and just make themselves a Zeus or something like that with Pearly running around. So Stink Bug is a good thing to have access to in case you're playing against Pearly and they're going just straight to the battle phase just to like land a Zeus and kind of clean it up. For the most part though, I didn't change much. I am now running also the Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is kind of debatable. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep it in the deck because I summon it so rarely. Most of the time you can't really make your things unaffected, but the battle protection can kind of come up for this deck. Like I said, I'm even running Stink Bug, so that kind of goes to show that battle protection is actually pretty good in the current format. So I do like Chaos Angel, but I end up almost never summoning it, so just not sure if I'm going to keep it. That being said, I really do think this deck is still absolutely stellar, absolutely amazing. I'm still running the Psyframe Lord Omega Tech just so that I can recycle my shufflers, because NATURIA RUNICK is definitely one of those decks that takes advantage of shufflers more than most, and they're just really useful because Math Mech is still a really popular deck. They do show up in a lot of matchups and actually help you out. For instance, they can stop Labyrinth from building a lot of advantage, and this deck just has a good matchup against pretty much everything. The worst it has is an even matchup. I feel like Labyrinth is one of those cases where it's kind of an even matchup, so it's nice to have an extra tool against them, but in general, I just really like having the shufflers around. I think they're still really strong, and in our deck especially, I feel like they're kind of a must play because being able to recycle your blessings and your sacred trees is just absolutely insane. That's also another reason I'm keeping the Bestials, is because I actually think Beatrice is super strong in NATURIA RUNICK. Really underrated card. Anyway guys, I have a lot of really good replays against different meta decks from my awesome run that I just did in Master Rank. So we're going to show you some replays against Pearly, some replays against Dragon Link, some replays against a bunch of really strong meta contenders, and maybe we'll do a live game, maybe we won't. Live games for this deck tend to take really long, so depending on how many replays I want to show you, I might not do live gameplay. It'll depend, we'll see. But anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so first off, let's do what I think is one of the best decks in the current format and a very underrated one. So we're going to be facing Math Mech on a really bad hand, just to showcase just like how much we can do. Now, the hand isn't actually bad, it's more so because of the interruptions that my opponent had. So here we go. I'm going to normal summon the NATURIA Mole Cricket, and yeah, they're going to Ash, which just kind of makes our hand instantly not very good. So we can fast forward here because the animations are very slow in this game. We're going to go for Runic Slumber, summoning Hugin. Hugin effect, we're going to discard a Shuffler, draw into, well, search Runic Fountain, activate Fountain, and that's going to be our turn. So what do we have here? We have a Baldrake, and we have a Mudora. So I was kind of hoping that Graveyard Control would be good enough at this point, because obviously I didn't have much else I could do. Also, if they summon something from the extra deck, we can summon out the Mole Cricket, which can get us into like 2 monster negates by summoning a Camellia on top of a Sunflower. So that's basically what we have as our game plan. Not the best thing ever, but not as bad as it may seem. Our opponent's on Math Mech, which was like really reassuring to me because Graveyard Control is really good against this deck. They're going to make a Link 2 here. They're going to go into Splash Mage. We're going to trigger our Mole Cricket, special summoning it from the graveyard. They're going to Kaiju over our Mole Cricket. I was holding the Mole Cricket, and that was probably a mistake. I probably should have just like instantly activated the Mole Cricket after I summoned it, because what else was I going to summon than a Camellia and 2 monster negates, right? I was kind of like, well, what if I want a Stink Bug? But there's really no scenario here where I would want to go get a Stink Bug. So that was kind of a misplay on my part. So it gets Kaiju. It is what it is. Then they're going to activate the effect of Splash Mage. But of course, we have the Shuffler in the grave. And against Math Mech, Shufflers are just insane, right? So the fact that Math Mech is still very popular right now does kind of help with running Shufflers in NATURIA. So yeah, that's about it for this replay. We got some more coming, so let's get to it. And next up here, let's do another deck that I think is controversial, but in my opinion is tier 1 in the game right now, and that's Labyrinth. I think Labyrinth is really crazy right now. This is a pretty weird replay because I do get a little bit greedy in turn 1, but I'll show you why. So here we're going to go for Runic Freezing Curses. So from the jump, you can see I'm holding my Runic Golden Droplet. And that's because I've pretty much decided from the jump, looking at my hand, that I'm going to be greedy this game, and I'm going to give my opponent the draw just so I can draw 3 off of Runick Fountain. So that's the game plan here. We're going to go for Hugin. We're going to discard the Runick Flashing Fire, grab a Runick Fountain. We're going to normal summon the Camellia. Camellia, send the Sacred Tree to the grave. Sacred Tree trigger to search a second copy of Naturia Blessing. Then we're going to go for Runick Fountain, and I'm going to activate the Golden Droplet. And yes, my opponent gets to draw a card, but I thought it was worth it because I get to draw 3 and I get deck knowledge. We'll see how right I was. So they draw a card. We banish some cards. We can see here that Big Welcome is in their banished cards. So at least now I know what I'm playing against. And even though I gave them an extra card, it does give me some knowledge, which helps me like kind of build my board accordingly. So not the worst here. But yeah, we're going to go for a draw 3, and oops, I drew my opponent into Ash Blossom. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, we're just going to keep playing here. Maybe they already had it and they were holding it for the Fountain. That would be smart too. So here I'm going to go start as Charge Warrior, draw a card. So lucky, we draw into Runick Slumber. That is a perfect draw here. So I'm going to go Naturia Blessing. I'm going to special summon out the Camellia from the grave, and we're going to make ourselves a Cheng-Ying. The reason I did not go for Baronne de Fleur is because I feel like one Omni Negate is not impactful enough against Labyrinth. Also, Labyrinth can kind of struggle to out Cheng-Ying because they can't pop it. So I just figured this would be a good play. Now, of course, if they get a big Welcome in the grave, they can't just bounce the Cheng-Ying. So this is risky and it kind of depends. But in this scenario in particular, I felt pretty comfortable going for Cheng-Ying and just setting the Blessing so that I can get 2 Monster Negates on top of the Cheng-Ying next turn. And we'll see how it goes. So pass turn here on a Cheng-Ying, a Slumber in hand, and a Blessing. Go Blessing, special summon the Camellia in the draw phase. Camellia is going to send to the grave a Sunflower so that when they summon something, I can bring back the Sunflower. They summon out a Ariana. We're going to go Camellia effect to bring back the Sunflower from the graveyard. So here we go, Camellia effect, bringing back the Sunflower. With Camellia, they're going to search out a Coup Clock, which is like not really a big deal for us. We don't really care about that. They go to battle phase, and this is what I was hoping. That's why I was holding my Runick Slumber. They go to battle phase, targeting the Sunflower. I'm going to Slumber my Sunflower so they won't get to destroy by battle. We get to banish some more cards, and we get to trigger the Cheng-Ying. I like that because that way I can get a Labyrinth monster off their field so that if they activate Coup Clock, they don't have anything on the field really to be able to use their trap. And also, even if they had the Lady Labyrinth in hand, if they activate the effect of Lady Labyrinth, I can just negate it with Sunflower, so they will not be able to activate a trap this turn, even with Coup Clock in hand. So here we go, Runick Fountain. We finally get to draw 3 cards, and now we're looking pretty crazy. They're going to go for Labyrinth, activate Coup Clock. I think they just forgot how Coup Clock works. They're going to set 2 and pass turn here. So we've got a Maxi, a Mudora, a Druisworm, and we drew into the Blessing. Very crazy, but they are going to go Dimensional Barrier, which sucks because what I was hoping to do here, I actually activated Blessing to Synchro into, I wanted to go into Barkion as soon as possible. That way I could negate their traps. But yeah, they had the Dimensional Barrier. They're going to go for Synchro, which will make it a bit more difficult for us, but not the end of the world. We do have 2 Monster Negates on the field with the Sunflower Camellia combo. They're going to go for Labyrinth, to special summon. We're going to go for Maxi effect. They're going to chain Lady Labyrinth here, and I'm actually going to negate that Lady Labyrinth effect in the hand because I want to get a draw if they're going to summon. I don't want them summoning the Lady Labyrinth and I don't get a draw out of it. So I'd rather put it in the grave and then they'll bring it back from the grave. I get a draw, and if they try to use the effect of Lady Labyrinth, we'll just pop it, you know? So here's Lady Labyrinth. We drew into Freezing Curses. We're going to go Bestial Druisworm here, banishing the Coup Clock. Then I'm going to go for Freezing Curses to special summon a Hugin, and that way I can get the Mudora in the grave, which is actually pretty good in this matchup. Runick Fountain for 3. We're going to get to draw 3, and we're going to trigger the Hugin, discarding our Shuffler. Right now, we're looking really, really good. This guy's kind of playing conservative because he knows that if he tries to use a pop with a Welcome Labyrinth or something like that, I get to protect with Hugin. But whatever, we draw 3. I go Runick Tip to grab a Runick Destruction, banish another card from the top of the deck. And I'm going to activate another Runick Fountain, go Runick Destruction on the back row to force it out. They're going to go for Big Welcome Labyrinth. Fair enough, fair enough. And where are we going from here? Big Welcome. They're going to summon out Ariana, bounce the Ariana to attempt to pop the Camellia. And we're going to protect the Camellia with the Hugin. We get to draw a card because they special summoned. Pop the back row, banish a couple cards, get 2 draws now. And you guys can kind of see, like, this matchup can go kind of crazy. It kind of just... it kind of explodes, whether it's for Labyrinth or for Naturia. Either of these decks are just going to explode with advantage, and the other one is just going to get crushed. It can definitely go the opposite way too, where it feels like you just can't get in when the Labyrinth player has all their setup and you're just like not well equipped for the job right now. So definitely a very interesting matchup, but let's move on to the next one. Now I want to showcase going against Pearly. I think Pearly is one of the more popular decks in Master right now, although like it's very varied. Like there's a lot of variation, so it's not like you're only seeing Pearly. but it is quite popular right now. So, you know, we're going to show a replay against Pearly here. And my opponent, it seems they bricked. They pass on nothing. I don't really understand why, but whatever. So we're going to normal summon out a Camellia. They're going to go for Imperm. I think they might have bricked on hand traps, actually, because they have a lot of hand traps. This is going to be a bit of a weird replay, but it is kind of interesting. So they go for their Imperm. So I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll go Runick to special summon. They're going to go Maxi. I'm like, damn it, dude. Like, I definitely can't go for game this turn. And that Maxi is really annoying me, but it is what it is. So we're going to summon out the Hugin here. Hugin, we're going to discard a Naturia Sacred Tree. They're going to Ash the Hugin, so we don't get a Fountain. We do get our Sacred Tree, though, to grab a Naturia Blessing. At this point, I'm like, I need to put up something on the field. I'm going to go Charge Warrior, draw. I'm going to go Flashing Fire, special another Hugin. I really want to get into my Fountain. We discard the Mole Cricket. They're going to Veiler my Hugin. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? You got it, man. You got too many hand traps for me. I'm done playing around. So we're going to set the Freezing Curses as a negate and set the Naturia Blessing. It's not the best, but, you know, it'll do. It'll do for now. Gonna pass turn. We do have a Magnamut in hand, which is not the worst. In the draw phase, we're gonna bring back our Camellia so that we can send a Sunflower and set up at least 2 negates on our opponent's turn. Not the best thing ever, but not the worst. Here, I'm just kind of hoping they summon out a Pearly, and they do summon out the Pearly. We're gonna go for Camellia effect to bring back our Sunflower, and we're also gonna activate Freezing Curses to negate the Pearly. That way, you know, they won't get to actually use the Pearly effect later in the turn to use a card in the grave to make an Xyz. So summon out the Sunflower here. Looking good so far. They're going to go for Pearly, Delicious Memory, special another Pearly. Using these two, they're going to go into Princess Sprite. And this is where they kind of messed up, because I was kind of prepared for this. I was like, if they go for a Zeus line, we can kind of play around that, because we can set up our Stink Bug, and that's why Stink Bug is good. That's also why I'm showing this replay. So we bring out the Mole Cricket. Before they attempt to go to battle phase, we're going to summon out the Stink Bug. So that means that they have to hit a non-Naturia monster, so they can't beat over the Sunflower. We don't really care that they beat over the Hugin, and we don't really care that they want to make Zeus. They only have 1 card in hand, which means that they can't special summon a Pearly from the deck. They go into Zeus here, and then they go to end phase, because they know they'll just get negated by Sunflower. In end phase, I'm going to summon out the Magnamut effect. We're going to search out the Baldrake. And yeah, I mean, I might have wanted to search out Druisworm actually in retrospect, but that's fine. Either way, using these two here, we're going to go into Donner just to force out that Zeus effect. And they're going to go Zeus. Then we're going to chain the Sunflower. And if they attempt to use it again, we would just chain the Sunflower a second time. And that's why they just scoop it up at this point. It was pretty much unwinnable. Now, I'm not sure if that Pearly player really played optimally. I think what would have been smarter is just summoning a Pearly, like a regular Pearly, but then they would have baited out the negate of my Sunflower, and they would have lost a lot of card advantage. So I think they were kind of in a rough spot just because they couldn't like maintain card advantage, and you do need to discard a card every time you want to summon a Pearly from deck. So I feel like I just played that really well, and I was like well prepared for it, even though I kept getting interrupted and I couldn't really set up the kind of board I wanted. So that's why I think this is a really good replay, and I think we're going to end it off with just showcasing a replay against Dragon Link, and we have time. We probably can do a live gameplay after as well. All right, and to finish it off, let's do against Dragon Link. This is also a very popular deck. A lot of people are playing these shitty pile versions of the deck, and they think it's good because Dragon Link is so good, but I really don't think the pile version is the optimal way to play it personally. Either way, they're going to go for Lubellion here, search a Serenir. We're going to fast forward a little bit. They're going to go Chamber Dragon Maid, search out their spell that special summons a Dragon Maid from the graveyard. They're going to summon Striker. Striker search the boot sector. They're going to go for Dragon Maid Hospitality. I'm actually going to Baldrake, and they're going to cross out the Baldrake, which is pretty funny. But I will say, so far, I don't think this is like a very good Dragon Link player. They do a lot of things that are pretty questionable. Here they're going to go Ravine, send the Absa Router, and trigger the Serenir. Serenir send the Regains, and not too bad. Get a Rocket Tracer. Then they're going to activate the Boot Sector, summon out the Rocket Tracer, and pop the Boot Sector to summon out the, I forget the name. Sorry. Give me a second here. I don't know why I forgot this name. Yeah, the Recharger. And they're going to make a Striker and then a Pisty. And I really don't know why they're doing this that early. I mean, it's not the worst, and we'll see why soon enough. I mean, I think they just kind of have their own line that they're used to. This is kind of a weird way to play the deck, but it's not bad either. They're going to use Pisty to bring back the Baldrake. Using these two, they're going to make themselves a Delingirus. So here they're doing Delingirus stuff. Like, I don't know about this way of playing the deck, man. But either way, they're going to pop the Delingirus, get back the Rocket Recharger. Recharger go to grave to special summon out the Tracer, and then we get to special summon out the Delingirus, make a Borland. Borland is going to negate the Tracer to bring back the Recharger. That way they can make themselves a Chaos Ruler. So, you know, it works. It's just kind of weird. Either way, they're going to go for Chaos Ruler here. and do a little bit of stuff here. They're going to get to mill a Chaos Space, which gives them an extra draw. That's really good. And they're also going to make a Lubellion here. Lubellion is going to get the Branded Beast. Then we're going to trigger the effect of Chaos Ruler in the grave. Then we're going to activate the Chaos Space to get back our Hieratic Seal and draw a card. We're going to make ourselves an IP Masquerena. So they got an IP, they got a Branded Beast, they get back their Regained, they have a Borland. It's by no means bad. I just don't think it's that good. Like, it could be a lot better. But either way, we're going to go Runick Fountain here. Runick Tip, search the Runick Freezing Curses, banishing a card here. Then they're going to go for Branded Regain since I banished something to draw. We're going to go Freezing Curses on the Borland. And to my surprise, they did not IP Masquerena with the Borland to make a Unicorn and bounce my Fountain, which is kind of weird. But either way, I get to shuffle 2 here and draw because they didn't want to bounce it, weirdly. I'm going to go Slumber here to special summon, and I'm going to summon out a Baldrake in response to their Max C. Make a Hugin. Hugin, discard the Sunflower to fetch an other Fountain. They're going to go for Regained. I'm actually going to go Runic Destruction on the Regained, and they're going to chain Borland, but it's negated. So they do get to negate the Hugin here. We're going to summon out the Mole Cricket. Mole Cricket effect, I want to special summon 2 Camellias. This was just in case they had a Bestial in hand, and they were to like Branded Beast one of my Camellias before I could get into one of my Synchro plays. Really did not want to see that happen, so that's why I went for this. Either way, we're going to send a Sacred Tree to the grave to add a Naturia Blessing. Going to use our Baldrake and our Camellia to make a Baron. Baron pop, and they're actually going to chain the IP, so I'm just going to chain Baron, and we get to pop both links here, which is really good. Here I'm probably getting a bit greedy, but it's because Baron is out of negates, but honestly I feel like I maybe should have just passed on Baron there instead of like extending more. But I don't know, I really wanted that like Xingyang because I just figured like Baron with no negates bring back a Camellia on my opponent's turn when they have Branded Beast. It's probably not good enough. So either way, we go Baron effect here in standby. They're going to call by our Camellia, but we're going to chain the Naturia Blessing to bring that Camellia into play regardless. Camellia's going to send a Naturia Sacred Tree since Sunflower's already in the graveyard. They're going to summon out their Bestial Serenir and summon out their Magna Rocket Dragon. We're going to get to search our Naturia Blessing. We have a Sunflower on the field. They're going to use the Branded Beast on our Fountain, which is, we just don't care. We have no Runic cards in hand anyway. Then they're going to search a Magnamut with Lubellion, summon out a Chamber Dragon Maid. We're going to negate the Chamber Dragon Maid because that is a really good card. Then they're going to summon out the Collapse Serpent. I'm going to banish the Collapse Serpent as well as their Borland engrave. This was a huge misplay. I forgot that Branded Regained could just put it back in the extra deck. So I should have definitely banished something other than their best boss monster. But whatever. They're going to go Regained, shuffle that back. I'll keep that in mind for next time. It's going to go Levianeer. And before I can even negate the Levianeer, they're just going to scoop it up. So I'm going to assume that they didn't have enough gas in their hand to keep playing there. Because to me, I was still scared. Like, I was still like, yo, like I'm going to negate this, but then like, what do I do? You know? So that was kind of a weird one, but I think they were just like, they were looking at their hand and they could not get to a point where they could out the Cheng Ying. So it must have been something like that. And that's why they had to scoop it up because they knew like next turn I could just keep like using my Cheng Ying and like building more advantage. But yeah, pretty interesting replay there. And kind of just a good back and forth between Dragon Link and Naturia. Let me get my jingle. Nice. All right, so let's get some live gameplay here. I'm going to be going first, and hopefully it goes pretty well. Okay. I mean, that's a good hand for going first. I think what I'm going to do here, actually, is I'm gonna bait out their Ash with the Mole Cricket, because I don't really mind having Mole Cricket be negated and in the grave. I can just do it again next turn when they summon from the extra deck. So we're going to go Mole Cricket here. How do they feel about it? Yep, and there's the Ash. There is the Ash. Now, I do have to question myself here a little bit. I guess we could just call by it, honestly. Like, I don't really see why not. I really don't see why not. We're just going to call by the Ash here. They might even just scoop to that. They might even just straight up scoop to that. Oh, well, there's a Max C. Oh, okay. So they will be getting a draw here. Now that's a weird one. I could just play, like, Runick Maxi Control next turn. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think we're going to do that. I'm going to go Golden Droplet Special. We're going to summon Hugin right now. And we're just going to play Maxi Fountain. We're just going to play Maxi Fountain Control. Here's Hugin. Mole Cricket. We're definitely going to get a Camellia here. They get a draw. We can go... which one do I want to chain block more? I guess I really want that Fountain. So we're going to go Hugin first. It doesn't even matter, actually. Discard the Flashing Fire. And then Camellia. It doesn't even matter because they already used Ash. And it is called by right now. So Camellia. Alright, so far so good. And we're going to get ourselves a Fountain. Sacred Tree, we're going to grab a Blessing. Going to activate Fountain here. And now, I could give them 2 more draws to make something, but I have no idea what they're playing. I think I'll just set the Blessing. And I'll just pass turn. Okay, so in draw phase. Definitely gonna go Maxi right now. Let's see that. Let's see that dead Ash. Oh wow, cross out. This guy just had everything. This guy really just had everything, huh? All right, so negating Maxi with the cross out. Nothing new there. Can we just like? Can this game be a little faster with the animations, man? This is like ridiculous. Yep, Maxi negated. Okay, can we get to the game now? Cool. You got 4 cards in hand. I have basically no interruptions, but we can make it work. And it's pretty memory. This might actually work in our favor here. As soon as they summon anything, we're going to get the effect of Camellia to bring back our Mole Cricket, at which point we can use Mole Cricket to summon a Sunflower. And I think they're going to -2 hard to be able to do anything. The only thing is, if they summon a Pearly here, they can search that continuous spell, which could help them a lot. I don't know how much it's going to help them, but it could help them a lot. They seem to be thinking really hard about their discard here. Like, what are you thinking about here, bro? There's nothing to think about. There is nothing to think about here. You just do it. You just discard the card and summon the card. There's no other route you can take here. There's no other route. That was ridiculous. They're going for a Pearly, obviously. At which point, I'm going to go for Camellia effect to summon out my Mole Cricket from the grave. Ooh. So you see, I had the blessing. We're fine. Yeah, we're just going to bring out that Mole Cricket. Now we're doing really good. They just like, by just getting that card out of their hand there, that is so good for us. Now our main issue is that they could just do a Zeus play, which is annoying. So we're going to wait a little bit before we go for Mole Cricket, I think. So I'm just going to wait here. This is a weird one. We might still be okay, though. So they're going to make themselves that monster negate one, Pearly Beauty. Thankfully, this does not negate an activation. It targets a face-up monster. So they actually can't negate like hand traps. They can't negate monsters in the grave. So Mole Cricket will resolve here, and because they have a bigger monster, we will get to summon 2. I will not be using the effect of Camellia here. So this is not the worst scenario to be in, because we do get our Stink Bug as well as a Sunflower, which is pretty huge. That's pretty massive. So let's take the Sunflower out. Let's bring out the Stink Bug. The issue is they're going to activate their continuous spell, search something, summon a Pearly. And, well, actually, I guess that's not that big of a problem because Pearly would have to draw them into something. It's if Pearly finds a flash spell, we're kind of in trouble. Yeah, so my friend Pearly, nothing we can do about that. That would make it a lot easier for us. Yeah, so they're getting a delicious memory here. That's fine with me. Do you have a Pearly in hand? Because you can't use Pearly twice. So you need a Pearly in hand to make this work. Okay, grabbing the Stink Bug. I do kind of have to do this. And now they're probably going to chain Beauty. You chain Beauty here, right? You have to? Yeah. Okay. And now it gets pretty annoying because we have to use Sunflower. Keeping the Stink Bug on the field at this point is pretty useless, so we might as well tribute the Stink Bug. And just deal with all of that. But now their whole play is basically, and they're probably going to get lucky because I'm always unlucky with this, but they're probably just going to summon a Pearly, get a draw, and then they'll just, like if they get a flash spell off of Pearly, basically we lose here. So here's Pearly, and again, I always get unlucky with this. They always get it against me. There it is. Of course, nothing new. Wait, you can't make a monster with that one. Oh shit, we actually won. If Pearly Noir was in the game, we would have lost right now. But because Pearly Noir is not out yet, they actually can't make a monster with the Pearly here. And we won. We won the game. That's funny. I mean, we technically did not win yet. We're like just looking a lot better than we were looking not too long ago. He has to just pass. There's nothing to do here. Making a Link Karibo. Hey? Why? Now you just helped me. Now I'm winning for sure. Now, guaranteed winning. Originally, possibly did not win. Now, guaranteed winning. Oh, well, I didn't think of that. Okay, I forgot. I thought we were in main phase 2, but nonetheless, we're looking good here. Nonetheless, we're looking good. Oh my god, this deck is just a gift that keeps on giving, huh? All right, let's make a Stardust Charge Warrior. At this point, we pretty much got it cleaned up. Because we can stop them from summoning anything next turn. Like, Pearly is just bad in a top decking situation in general. We get a draw. Oh my god, it does not get better than that. Holy, how many runic cards do I have down here? Oh my goodness. Yo, we're just going to go for the draw. No reason not to. Let's just secure our victory even more here. Reason I can't go for game is because we played runic cards last turn, so we cannot attack this turn. So I am going to take advantage of what I have. We have hand knowledge as well. So yeah, let's get runic tip in there. Flashing fire is good. Freezing curses. Get all of those in there. This guy might as well scoop by now. I mean, I really don't see like why you wouldn't scoop here. I mean, even if he doesn't know what I have in hand, like, well, I guess he doesn't know, right? Yeah. Another 3 draws? Okay. I mean, shit, why not? I mean, shit. Why the hell not? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was the Pearly gameplay. As you can see, even in a scuffed situation, our matchup against Pearly is not that bad as long as you like do a good job of making sure they have to waste their cards in hand and can't get to their big plays. At the end there, we did kind of get lucky because the flash spell that they got off of Pearly, thankfully, did not have an extra deck monster that they could make with the Pearly. If they could have just went for like a Zeus play or something like that, and that probably would have won them the game most likely. Although our top deck was Natura Blessing, which I think would have just brought us back into the game regardless. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah, so good gameplay. Let's go do the card by card. All right, guys. This video is probably already too long, so I'm going to try to speed run the card by card. We have 3 copies of Mole Cricket, 1 copy of Sunflower, triple Maxi, 1 copy of Stink Bug, very useful in the current format to stop your opponent from doing Zeus stuff. We have 1 copy of Kelda, 1 copy of Mudora, triple Naturia Camellia, 1 Magnamut, 1 Druid Swarm, and 3 Baldrake. Baldrake, I think, is just such a good card in this format. It comes up so often for me. Baldrake is really like my favorite bestial to have on the field. Sorry, I mean bestial. I know some people hate when I say that, so I'm going to make sure to keep saying it. 2 copies of Runic Fountain, 2 copies of Called By, obviously, double Runic Tip, triple Flashing Fire, double Destruction, double Freezing Curses, double Slumber, 1 copy of Smiting Storm, 1 copy of Golden Droplet, 1 copy of Dispelling, triple Natura Blessing, triple Sacred Tree. We have 2 copies of Hugin, 1 copy of Jerry, 1 copy of Natura Beast, 1 Barkion, 1 Charge Warrior, 1 Coral Dragon, 1 questionable Cyframe Lord Omega, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Chengying. We've got a questionable Chaos Angel, our Baguska, 1 copy of Dugares, our Beatrice, which I love. I think this card is amazing, and our Donner. I think this deck is absolutely fantastic. Over 90% win rate. You cannot sleep on that. So thank you for checking out the video. Huge shout out to everyone supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to support me, you can just like, comment, subscribe, or become a member. Shit, that helps too. That helps a lot too. I would like that. Anyway, peace.